The Time Traveler's Watch, A Journey Across Eras. Sophia had always been drawn to vintage items, often scouring flea markets for treasures that seemed to carry stories of their own. One sunny afternoon, while wandering through a bustling market, she stumbled upon a peculiar watch displayed among trinkets at an old wooden stall. The watch was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Its silver casing shimmered under the sunlight, intricate carvings depicting celestial patterns etched across its surface. At its center was a small, emerald-like gemstone that seemed to pulse faintly, as if alive. The elderly seller leaned in, his eyes twinkling with mystery. "This is no ordinary watch," he said softly. "It doesn't just tell time, it changes it." Sophia chuckled, thinking it was a clever sales pitch, but something about the watch intrigued her. After a brief negotiation, she bought it and headed home, unaware that her life was about to change in ways she could never imagine. The first journey. That evening, Sophia sat in her room, turning the watch over in her hands. As she pressed a small button on the side, the emerald began to glow brighter. Suddenly, the air around her shimmered, and she felt a strange pulling sensation. The next thing she knew, she was standing in the middle of a cobblestone street surrounded by people in 18th century attire. Horse-drawn carriages clattered past, and merchants called out to passers-by, selling wares from their wooden carts. Sophia's heart raced. This couldn't be real, could it? But the sights, sounds, and even the smells of freshly baked bread and damp stone were too vivid to be a dream. Fumbling with the watch, Sophia pressed another button, and in a flash, she was back in her apartment. Her hands shook as she realized the truth. The watch wasn't just a relic. It was a portal through time, exploring the past. Over the following weeks, Sophia experimented with the watch. She traveled to different eras, each trip filling her with wonder. She witnessed the construction of the Great Wall of China, walked through the vibrant streets of Renaissance Florence, and even attended a Shakespearean play at the original Globe Theatre. Each journey brought new challenges. In some places, she had to adapt quickly to unfamiliar customs and languages. In others, she narrowly avoided being caught as an outsider. Her curiosity drove her to learn as much as she could about the times she visited, jotting down notes and sketches in a journal she carried with her. Venturing into the future. One day, Sophia decided to turn the watch forward. She found herself in a gleaming metropolis where skyscrapers reached the clouds, and robots walked among humans. The air was clean, transportation was instantaneous, and holographic projections filled the streets with vibrant advertisements. At first, Sophia was captivated by the technological advancements, but she quickly realized that the future wasn't as utopian as it seemed. People were engrossed in their devices, rarely interacting face-to-face. Despite the progress, there was an overwhelming sense of isolation. During her visit, Sophia befriended a young scientist who explained the price of such advancements: environmental crises, overpopulation, and the loss of certain cultural traditions. These insights made Sophia question humanity's trajectory and whether the future could still be changed. The ethical dilemma of time travel. As Sophia continued her travels, she began to grapple with the ethical implications of her actions. On one trip, she witnessed a devastating famine in a small medieval village. Unable to stand by, she shared seeds from her own time, teaching the villagers advanced farming techniques. When she returned to her present, Sophia discovered that her interference had altered history. The famine had ended earlier, but the village had grown into a powerful kingdom that waged wars, affecting countless lives. The weight of her actions pressed heavily on her, making her realize that even well-intentioned decisions could have unintended consequences. Sophia started questioning whether she had the right to meddle with time. Should she use the watch to help others, or should she leave the past and future untouched? Losing control of the watch. The more Sophia used the watch, the harder it became to control. The emerald's glow dimmed, and the transitions between times became rougher. On one occasion, she found herself trapped between eras, caught in a void of swirling colors and deafening silence. Desperate to return, Sophia frantically pressed buttons, eventually landing in her present, but with the realization that the watch was deteriorating. The elderly seller's words echoed in her mind. "This watch doesn't just tell time, it changes it." Perhaps it wasn't meant to be used recklessly. A final journey. Determined to understand the watch's origins, Sophia traveled back to the moment it was created. She found herself in a 19th-century workshop where a brilliant but reclusive inventor named Elias was assembling the device. Elias explained that the watch was designed not for personal gain, but to observe and learn from history without interference. Sophia shared her experiences with Elias, who listened with both fascination and concern. "You've seen the consequences of altering time," he said. "The watch is a gift, but it must be used with wisdom." Before Sophia could respond, the workshop began to fade, signaling the watch's final moments of functionality. Letting go, back in her present, Sophia knew what she had to do. She placed the watch in a secure box and hid it away, deciding to share her adventures only through stories. Though she could no longer travel through time, the lessons she learned stayed with her, shaping her perspective on life, history, and humanity's future. Sophia's journey wasn't just about witnessing history. It was about understanding the delicate balance of choices and consequences. The watch had shown her the past and future, but it was the present that truly mattered.